Hey you guys, welcome to my life, or welcome back to my life. I wanted to come on and just share what just occurred. So I had rescued that puppy who I named Raymond, on the street on December 21st on my way to the Santo Domingo ferry that I was, planning to take to Puerto Rico. So I'd actually missed that ferry that day. And so Raymond and I spent 3 of the most beautiful days together. I gave him showers. I gave him a little bit of medicine to try to deworm him. I just gave him food, water, shelter, and so much love. I mean, when I tell you that I unconditionally loved that puppy for 3 days, and I would have continued. And so this morning we got up, we got ready. He had, some milk. Yesterday he did throw up, but I was like, okay, dogs puke. But what was odd was like he kept making little noises, and that was the first. He never really made any noise. Like, he was just always so comfortable being with me. And so I brought him to the ferry because I have a ferry booked today. I'm currently on the ferry. I'll give you guys just a quick little moment. This is my view out of the ferry window, leaving from Santo Domingo to go to Puerto Rico. And they were basically like, okay, well, there's no dogs. I said, well, he's a service animal, yada, yada, yada. So they weren't going to allow me on. And I took the L, essentially, and I walked away with him. And I sat with him. And, I was upset because I definitely wanted to leave the Dominican Republic. It's been an incredible time, but I do appreciate just being in the United States territory. There's some work things that I'm not able to do when I'm out of the country. And again, he started making the noise. And so I was like, okay, Raymond, do you want some more milk? But I saw death was in his eyes, and his eyes kept fluttering and rolling back. And my body and my mind and my heart and my soul knew that it was, that he was going to pass, and that the journey that I had with him was over. So he died in my arms, and his mouth, the way I knew he was passed was his mouth was stuck open and his eyes were open. And I just said, Raymond, it's okay. When I felt that his heart had finally stopped beating, I was hysterically crying. Like, I've been hysterically crying up until this very moment. But I'll tell you what I thought about and why I was able to stop crying. But knowing that crying and feeling your emotions is so important. But anyways, I ended up just like placing his body. I gave him lots of kisses, and I placed his body under a rock. And I was like, okay, well, now I can get on the ferry because I don't have this animal. So I ran back over here, and this woman was like, you have your period. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I have my period, and this puppy just died in my arms. But I believe in Buddhism, and I've been studying it recently, and they talk about rebirth. And so I just told myself, his soul has already been reborn. I gave him food, I gave him water, I gave him shelter, I gave him a bed to sleep in, I gave him so much love, I cleaned him up. I had told my brother, he was either going to die on the streets, or he was, if he wasn't going to make it, then that's just, nothing is permanent in this life. Everyone eventually dies, but your soul is instantly reborn. So I know that Raymond is with me, and I just feel really blessed that I was able to show myself how much love I can give. And I feel grateful for Raymond, and I'm just thinking positive, and I appreciate my life, and I love my life so much, and I know how blessed I am, and I know that everything in this life happens for a reason, and this is a blessing in disguise. And I love you, Raymond, and that you will always